Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Benedict here again from BJ Learn. So, in this class, now I want us to talk about applied steps. I also want us to talk about how to undo and redo order steps. So, let me just take you to Power BI desktop, and we see how um, we see how we can apply, or rather, we can work with applied steps on Power Query. So, I'll take you to Power BI desktop. Then from here we need to get data. We see data that we'll work with. So first we'll connect to data source. We are still using Excel workbook. So I want to connect to Adventure Works 205. So I will select sales. So I will use sales table. So we have quite a number of tables, but I will only use sales table. This is what we want to use to see how we work with applied steps within Power Query. So here we'll click this command for transform data. So that will take us to Power Query editor. So remember we had said earlier that in Power Query editor we have three panes. We have the queries pane, which is on my far left, where we have the queries, and then on the middle we have the preview pane. So this give us a preview of what we have within our data set. And then on my far right we have the query settings. Under the query settings we have the properties and applied steps. And in this class we want to talk about applied steps. We want to see how we can reorder the steps, or how we can undo the applied steps. So first we have to see what we have within our data sets. So we want to make it a bit simpler by just taking what is minimal, rather taking what is necessary to the data that you want to use. So first we will click the tables, rather we'll select the tables that we want to use. But first I will check the tables that are not necessary. So first I want to do away with rather I will not do away with the columns, but we'll select the columns that we want to use. So but before then we need to check the tables that, rather the columns that we don't need. So we have the customer key, we have the product key. Okay, and then we also have the customer key, we have the territory. So since the territory sales territory key is just one, so this sales territory key will ignore. And then we also have a sales order. We also have sales order line, and the sales order line is just one, and the 5,000. So I think the 5,000 is an outlier. So let's first we are trying to see uh, the columns that we don't need, so that when we extract the data we'll not use them. So shipping date will not use the shipping date. And then you also have the order quantity, so that is necessary. We have the unit price, which is also necessary. So let's try to compare the unit price and the extended amount. So the unit price and the extended amount are all the same, so we'll ignore the extended amount. So the unit price discount is 0, so this one as well will ignore. Then we have the discount amount is also 0, so this also will ignore. Then we have the product standard cost, so this we can use. And then we have the total product cost, which is more or less the same as the product standard cost. So the product uh, total product cost, I will use the total product cost and ignore the total product cost because they are one and the same. So sales amount, um, this will use tax amount. We can also pick tax amount. The freight, um, I think this would be the freight amount as opposed to just freight. So region month ID. So this again we can we can. So after selecting these columns, we need to keep them. So what we do on my far left on the first column, rather on the first column we have on my first or on my far left of the first column we have where the rows have been numbered. Above it we have a table like icon, so we can click on this icon here, which will give us various options. So we are just checking if we have a command for keeping the columns. So here we don't have any command for keeping these columns that you selected. So instead, let's again select these columns. I'll start with order date. I will go to uh, let me go to product key, customer key. I will know the sales territory. Then again, I will select the order quantity, unit price. Then ignore the extended amount. Will ignore again the discount amount and unit price discount. Then I will come to product standard cost and ignore the total product cost because they are one and the same with the uh, product standard cost. Then I will pick the sales amount, tax amount, and freight. Then under home tab, when we go rather under the home tab, we have various commands, but we'll move to where we have the choose columns or remove columns. So when I click on the drop down list of these remove columns, we have remove columns and remove other columns. So I want to remove other columns and keep uh, these selected columns. And again, when I select uh, choose columns, we have choose columns and go to column. But what I want to do is to remove other columns, and again I can right click on one of the selected columns and I will select remove other columns. So when you go to the applied steps, you can see we have another step here as remove columns. So again, I will move to my far right. So I want to sort the amount in ascending order. Instead of sorting, I just want to have the unit price where we have uh, the highest, the the four highest list prices. So I will load more. I'm loading more to have the total list. Then within the total list, I will have I want to pick the last four, rather the highest 4, so I'll pick this one, 4 2 2 4 4 3 3 3 7 4 3 3 3 3 9 9 and 3 5 7 8. Then I will click OK. So you can see here the next step here is the filtered rows. Then let me go to a date. So within the date, we have 2004 and 2001 to 2004. After doing the filtering out of the product, after filtering out the unit price. So let's again check where we can do the filtering. So the freight amount, total tax, sales amount is all the same. Product total cost, okay, we can check where the total product cost is again. We want to pick the last 4 where the total product cost is highest. We'll pick the highest 4. So I will pick 15, 54, 18, 98, 19, 12, and 21, 74. Then click OK. Let me go again to what else? Product key, order quantity, tax amount. So again with the tax amount, I want to pick where we have the highest 4. The highest 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just 4, so there's nothing to filter out. And then let's try to sort the order date from there in descending order. So you can see our applied step. The last step is sorted rows. So this could not be passed out because there's an error. So we will undo the applied step. So let's see if we have the product key, if we can sort them from in ascending order. So we can here click descending. When we want to sort in descending order, sort descending. And instead of using this arrow, rather this drop down list, you can just come here where we have sort. We have A to Z and Z to A. So Z to A is descending order, and A to Z is ascending order. So let me just try to sort in descending order. And again, when you check on the applied step, you can see we have sorted rows. But let it finish, we see if there is an error. So there is no error. Then after doing that again, we were talking about doing applied step or reordering steps. So let's see if we reorder step, what happens. So by reordering step, you just drag one step and insert below or above a given step. Like now we have the sorted rows as the last step. Let's try to reorder it. So what I will do here, I will drag it above the filtered rows. So that is one way of reordering our steps. So let it finish. You see if there is an error after doing the reorder. Again, let's try to drag this step for remove other columns to the last step. We want it to be the last step. So reordering step is used to it's used when you are trying to clean or format your data. So you put the order of steps as suited, uh, suited. Rather, you put the steps that suits transforming or cleaning your data. So after having reordered our steps and we know the data is okay, so uh, we can click under the home tab. We can click and apply. We can click close and apply command so that the data will be loaded into a Power Query, or rather loaded into Power BI um, desktop for uh, doing the visuals and doing maybe other analysis. So let's just click here, close and apply. So we have errors. So let's view the errors and do away with the errors. So when we view errors, we are being taken back to Power Query editor where we have the applied steps. So what we'll do with the errors, we'll delete them. So we'll come here and you can as well click on one error, and then under reduced rows, rather reduce rows, we have where we can remove rows. We have various options: remove top rows, remove bottom rows, remove alternate rows, remove duplicates, remove blank rows, remove errors. Here's a case where we have errors, so I'll just choose remove errors. So that will do away with the errors. And in our applied step, you can see um, we have our last step as remove errors. So after removing the errors, the data should be okay. And then we'll click close and apply to load the data. But since this has not happened, so let's do away with the last step. Then click the whole row, select the whole row that is with an error. Then we'll click here this command for this list of commands for remove rows. Then we'll remove errors. So that should do away with the errors, rather the rows with the errors, and then our data will be okay. So now we can see this table is empty. The table with the errors is empty. So I think we can we can delete this group because there's nothing in that table. So now we have our cleaned data. So again, now we'll click close and apply. So let's apply changes. So our data is done. So you see now we work with applied steps. So what remains here is to just create visual, but this class was just working further. The class was about how we use applied steps in Power Query. So thanks a lot for watching. So when we come back, we'll be talking about I will talk about merging data using Power Query or other Power Query editor. So thanks a lot for watching, and be rather see you in the next class.